Welcome to the Default Profitable Podcast, the show where we take a deep dive into strategies behind starting and building consistently profitable businesses. Whether you're a founder, a leader, or a curious builder just starting to dream, this podcast is a toolkit for making profitable decisions by default. I'm your host, Matt Nettleton. Today, my guest is Kelly Sundsvold. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm looking forward to this because we met kind of by chance when you reached out and we started talking, and I loved kind of your story. But before we get into the business side of things, why don't you just take 2 or 3 minutes, introduce yourself as a person to everybody?
Sure. My name is Kelly Sundsvold. I own and operate and founded Gold Bear Media, which is a full-service marketing agency based out of Maryland, but we work with clients all over the country. I get the opportunity to work with my husband, Sean. He's our COO, and all things operational, money, financial, all that stuff. And so we make a pretty good team. We've been in business since 2020. January kind of came out of a really difficult time for our family. I think you and I had talked about it a little bit, and you tell me when to share that. But I've been in marketing for all of my career, about 20 years, and it's been a good run. Lots of changing things since I first started. I started off in graphic design and social media, website design really was not a thing when I first got started. And so, so learned all that when that came out. I was a very early adopter to that. Really loved the potential for small businesses. And so anyways, it's been a wild ride, but love all things marketing, graphic design, websites, you name it.
So normally my first question is, when did you start your business? But you already let that cat out of the bag, January of 2020.
January 2020.
Which is perfect. Yeah. Best time ever to start a business.
Yes. We were actually very, very fortunate. I kind of started the business out of a necessity. In 2019, my husband had a spinal abscess, staph infection lodged in his back. And that was in January, and he temporarily was paralyzed from the waist down. So all of 2019, he was learning how to rewalk, how to just do all the things that you do with your legs. And so he was learning all that while I was providing for our family. We got to the end of 2019, and he had been out of work for a year, and I was the sole provider. And just, it's just not financially, it was just not great financially. I'll just say that.
Yes.
I'm sure anyone listening can, who's gone through any sort of medical issues or problems, those bills start stacking up. And it's not just, medical bills, you got, maybe things that you've deferred, or, we were fortunate enough. We didn't get to that point, but, it's hard. It's hard. Yep. It really is challenging. So when we got to the end of 2019, I had this harebrained idea that I was just going to do graphics on night and weekend. I was happy with my full-time job. Then the business, and then the world shut down in March, and business started just flying in. It was insane. I know a lot of people were struggling, and we had the opportunity to help these people. It wasn't just like, oh, okay, we're just going to get rich off of everyone who's struggling. It was, oh my gosh, let me help you. Like, you want to get online, and I see where you could go. Like, we're kind of having to do a lot of catch up because, you didn't prioritize that before now, but we can do it. And so we had the opportunity to really help a lot of companies that were in that struggle moment. And it felt like a great way to give back. And by the end of 2020, it really got me thinking, like, maybe this could be a full-time business. I've always had an entrepreneur spirit. I'm starting at the very wee age of 11 with my stationery business. So went door to door selling my homemade stationery, and so, that's where it started. And, I've done a cake decorating business and a couple other things along the way. And, it's been a good run, but yeah.
So, a couple things there. One, I think I started a business, you said personalized stationery and then cakes, right?
Yes.
I mean, you laugh at that. I have a client who has a nonprofit called High School Hustle, and they started it because they were looking at these founders that had exits. And they're like, listen, I wouldn't have done this if I didn't do my high school hustle, cutting lawns, walking dogs,
Yep.
delivering newspapers, whatever it was. All of them had a story. And so now, because kids that are in high school now aren't getting the same level of hustle, they did 1,000 different kids starting businesses last year, and they're going to do
Mhm.
2,000 this year.
That's
So
amazing.
you kind of belittle that, but that stationery, that cake decorating, it's where it comes from. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Now my
It's
next,
like it's an entrepreneur's playground,
yeah,
you know?
and you get wired up. Like
Mhm.
you're like, I don't have to work for somebody else. I can actually make money
Yes.
this way.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah. All right. So one of the things that I typically ask people is when you think about your business, most people, there's a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum, everybody starts a business because, like, hey, there's an economic opportunity and I'll figure out whether or not I like it. And the other end of the spectrum is, hey, I love this. I'll figure out how to make the money work. Which side were you closer to?
Probably the second side. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Kind
this and I'll
of,
figure out the money.
yep, I love this and I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah, and I don't know, crossing fingers, so far it's worked out.
Yeah,
Yeah, kinda jump into it, figure it out as we go. Like I said, I didn't jump into this business because I thought it was gonna provide for my family. I thought it was going to help us get out of a hole,
right.
and the medical debt that we were in. So it was really started out of something I really didn't think was going to become something. But as I was able to help small businesses, it lit a fire under me that I'm like, I really, really enjoy this. Um, I spent most of my career in nonprofit marketing, and now I work primarily with for-profit companies, and there's just a little bit different. It was a nice shift. I'll just say that. It was just a nice shift.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So you sit back, you got this thing that you love, you decide, hey, we're gonna dig out of the hole. There are three things, this is episode 166, 67.
Mhm.
There's three things that I talk about with owners, and you gotta have all three to start the business, right? You gotta have like a good strategic plan that's well developed and accurate. You gotta have 6 months of savings and a clear understanding what people will pay you for. So if you
Mhm.
look at those three things, which of those did you have?
Um, really none.
Yeah,
I
you're
Yeah,
average. I have
yeah,
one guy that
really
had
none.
one, but everybody else is pretty much, yeah, we got none. We heard that we were supposed to do that, but none.
Yeah.
And I think that your reaction is funny because like you giggled. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, that really didn't, but that's like normal small business owner.
Mhm.
You're like,
It
let's blow this up and then see what happens and I'll fix it.
Exactly. I mean, and remember too, like, this was just meant to be a stopgap.
Yeah,
And so it was like, oh, and I love business and leadership. My husband and I have done read many, many, many books, gone to conferences, done mentoring, things like that. And so, both of us are very wired for business. So we knew what we had to do, but it wasn't really the objective when we started it. And then it became like, oh, it's like we got through 2020 and it was just like, yeah, like, wait a minute, hold on. We could make something of this. And I'm like, something we're really enjoying. So,
awesome. All right. So you start the business. You don't really have the vision of this is a business. It's more side hustle to pay some bills.
mhm.
You get into it. You find out, wait a minute, this is an actual business and we're rolling. So what are some of the things that as it became your real business that you had to learn that you didn't realize you would have to learn?
Mm. So early on, our very first hire, and this was like towards the end of 2020, was an accountant. my husband and I met in college once upon a time. We were both communications major. He went more of the sales operations, speaking kind of route. I went more of the arts, graphic design route. And we both know that numbers are not our thing, but we do know enough that numbers are very important to business. If you don't know your numbers, what are you doing? So we knew the priority of really covering our weaknesses, which was accounting. The first time I'd ever logged into QuickBooks was about month 6 of our business. I was like, okay, I guess I need to stop sending out, you know, paper.
Typewritten Word documents.
Yeah, like Word documents for invoices. I need to get professional here and get our stuff together. But yeah, so I was managing the QuickBooks, and it was one of those things, if I can encourage leaders, know what your weaknesses are and what you need to hand off so that you can be successful. And handing that off was it was a very good thing, because they were able to do what they needed to do to make our business, like, they were our cheerleaders. We still have those same accountants here 4 or 5 years later. And, they're our biggest advocates. They want us to be successful too. And so we hire them to, manage our books and do our taxes. And, there's a relationship built on trust there that, I know what I don't know, and I need to find people that are smarter than me.
Yeah.
So
That one of I forget who it was, but one of their pieces of advice was there's 2 things that you should never save money on. The first one's your attorney, and the second one's your
mhm.
accountant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Don't shop for cheaper, and
yeah.
build that relationship. Our
Yes.
accountant, it's been good. They've been able to give us advice to be a little bit more strategic about how we set up our business from a tax standpoint. And these are things that, like, we just don't know. I mean, if you want to run a social media ad, I can give you all the advice in the world, but like, I didn't know the difference between an S corp and a C corp and an LLC. And from a tax perspective, I knew what all of those were in theory, but I didn't know what would be best for us. And so that really, honestly, I can't encourage people enough to let go of things. And we see it too in our industry. We'll meet small business leaders, and they'll go, "Oh, I wish I could afford marketing," and, "Oh, I'm just going to do it myself." And it's like, yes, we charge for our services because this is our area of expertise. But, like, if no one knows about you, how are you going to get seen? You
Right.
know? So handing things off to an expert, whatever that is in your field that you need, that you have a weakness for, I can't encourage that enough.
Yeah. What are some of the other things that you learned?
Oh my goodness. So I've been working at, I will say this is still a work in progress, is delegating, which kind of goes along with the first thing, but more so even niche down. There are things that I should be doing that will grow the business versus working on my business. So, can I do everything from a marketing perspective, start to finish? Absolutely. Should I be doing that from start to finish? Probably not. So I hire people around me who maybe I can train up. We have a really great graphic designer that we've worked with for the last 3 years. It's hard for me to hand off graphic design. I'm particular.
That's your
Um,
thing.
it's my thing. It's where I started. It's my OG. But yeah, like, that was really hard to pass off. And you know what? I've worked with this designer. He was young when he started. He was 22, kind of getting into graphic design. And I was a little hesitant, but he has just blown me away over the last 3 years. And I've been able to pour into him, develop him into a graphic designer that I'm really proud to have on our team. And he's just an awesome person. So being able to develop a young, budding career person has been really fulfilling. That was something that I've had to learn. I still have to learn. There's still things that I need to hand off, that I need to find. Maybe I don't find someone who's necessarily better than me, or maybe we can't afford someone who's better than me at the moment. But being able to develop people has been really helpful. And I would say too, another thing that's really been important in our business is relationship, and learning how to know who our clients are and who our clients aren't. And it took a while to figure that out, along with pricing. Pricing was also a very hard piece to figure out. I have a heart to help a lot of people, and you have a person who comes to me and says, I have no money, but I need marketing. And, there's a lot of me that wants to just rush and help these people. And that's not sustainable for my family, my business, the people that work for us. People are relying on income for their families. So having to learn how to put up boundaries. Recently, we started a mastermind program that was for kind of more of an entry level, like, hey, I don't have money, and but I know I need marketing. Can you help? And that's been a really great way to be able to pour into other small businesses um, that maybe couldn't afford our services, but needed something to help train them. And so that's been a really good thing. That's been something that's been a 2024. It's been a goal since 2024, and here we are at the end of 2025, and it's coming to life.
So
So,
that's interesting. So now when you started, you didn't really have a vision of the business. When did you really
right.
get serious about setting goals?
So I would say it's probably 2021. So, in 2021, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. Stage 1 is my very first mammogram. I was 40 years old. I had just turned 40, and had no reason to really go get a mammogram. Don't have a family history, had nothing really happen in my life. Didn't There was anything that I was found suspicious, and found out I had breast cancer. And, between that and getting diagnosed with that, and my husband's back surgery, life is precious. It's really short. Um, and things can be taken from you in a heartbeat. Um, and things can shift really fast. And so that's hard. And it really put into perspective that, like, is this what I want for the next 40 years of my life? Is to be working for someone else, building someone else's dream that really doesn't give a crap about me, you
Right.
know? And so I was like, the people that matter to me the most are the people that live in my house. Yes, I want to help other people, but I got to make sure my marriage is rock solid. I got to make sure my 4 kids, their partners are all like, there's relationships there that I need to build on. And so I would say that is really the pivotal moment that it really was eye opening for me, that I was like, if I really want to be serious about this, and really make this business into something that I can do for my life, um, I need to build a plan, like you're talking about, a business plan. I need to build some goals. I need to build a vision for what this looks like, not just wing it like I had when I first started.
Yeah. So a little bit off topic, but
Yeah.
is your husband healthy now?
My husband is healthy.
Are you
He
healthy
made
now?
I am healthy. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I
Because
went
that's kind of
through
the hanging thing out there. I want to make sure we cover
It
that.
is. Yeah. My husband took about a year to recover. He went back to work at the beginning of 2020, of course, got furloughed, um, through that. But he's good, healthy, about 99% recovery. They weren't sure if he'd walk again, and he's fine. And he's
Perfect.
walking. So it's great. Yeah. And I'm thankfully it was stage 1. And my doctor said I had the best of the worst. So
Take it.
I'm good. I'm good. I definitely, if you're listening and you're a woman, go get your mammogram. Don't make it wait. Just go do it.
Well, it's not just if you're a woman. I mean, obviously men aren't getting
Yes.
mammograms, but one of the things that self-employed people are really good at is putting their head down and working and forgetting to go to the doctor or dentist.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's like you gotta that's an important part. I always, describe that as my wife likes to make sure the dancing pony can make money.
Hmm.
So
Exactly.
take care of the dancing pony.
It's the whole put the mask on yourself
Yes.
first, and then
Yes.
take care of the people around you. If you have employees or kids or a family that relies on your income, you got to be able to take care of yourself. And that's hard to stop because we're in go mode.
Yeah.
We're building businesses and doing the entrepreneurial thing. But we got to stop and go, okay, hold on. I got to go to blank and take care of blank.
Yeah. So obviously you've been doing this for a while now. You're 5 years in, you've
Yes.
done well, you've grown, you've hired people, you've expanded, you've started to plan, you've started to see a vision. I am sure that you have some friends that have come to you and said, "Hey, listen, I'm thinking about leaving my job with the big megacorp, and I'm going to start my own thing." So
Mhm.
where do I even begin? What do you tell somebody that says that to you?
My goodness. That's such a good question. And yeah, we have had people, and it just start, just start getting those ideas down on paper or voice memos. I remember when I was planning a lot of this, would take walks around the neighborhood, and walking just opened up the creativity in my brain and the thought processes. And I would be walking and typing into my phone at the same time. That was personally what I needed to do. I'm not big on voice memos, but like um, typing in ideas, and just let your brain dream. Because the thing that gets in your way for starting a business is usually yourself. So if you can get over that hurdle of um of yourself, and like, oh well, I'm not good enough, or oh, like, I don't know how I'd price myself, I don't know how I'd start, just dream. Just start with that, and then it'll start coming to fruition. I will say pricing is one of the hardest things to do. I thought that was just me. I thought just
It's not.
I had problems with it, but I realized that's a underlying issue that pretty much every entrepreneur who's in the service-based industry has a really hard time. Um, we have some product-based companies that have a hard time
I
pricing
was
their
gonna
stuff
say
too.
you're wrong about that. It's not just a service industry thing. It's a
No.
software thing. It's a
Mhm.
HVAC, plumbers, electricians. Nobody knows what they're supposed to charge.
Yes, it's so difficult. And so thinking that you're alone in the journey, like, find someone who's just a little bit further ahead than you or really far ahead from you. Like, have those conversations, ask those little questions. Yeah, I'd say
And
that
it's
would be my
funny, the
advice.
further ahead of you they are, the more likely they are to help,
Yes. Yeah.
which is amazing. So,
Yeah.
all right. So if 2025, Kelly, could sit down, with a glass of wine or a beer or whatever, um, next to 2020 Kelly and say, listen, just so you know, 5 years from now, everything works out. But here's what I want you to do first. Here's tomorrow when you go in to start this business for real. Here's what you need to do first. What would that
Mm.
do first thing be?
Wow, that's so good. And it's funny because I sometimes talk to my future self, but I forget to go back to my past self. So sometimes I tell myself, like, oh, and 5 years from now, I'm going to be looking back and going, "Huh, that was such a piece of cake. Like, you'll get through this just fine. Like, just keep going." Um, and I think talking to myself 5 years ago, so my 2020 self, I always say, keep going, be confident in your skills. You aren't an expert, keep learning, but you do know a lot and you can share a lot. And I would tell myself that there was a lot of confidence that I had to build um, in myself. And no, I'm not always the smartest person in the room, but I'm growing constantly. And there are some rooms that I do go into and I'm the smartest person in the room. And so, like, build just be confident in what you do know, make connections, make have conversations with people, and just keep learning. That would be what I would tell myself. Yeah.
That's actually great advice. So, any other advice you would give to a first time founder?
Um Other than the hiring and, offloading the stuff
Yes.
that doesn't bring you energy. So, we've been lately, I had this harebrained idea over, Thanksgiving holiday. It's like, I'm gonna start a new social media series because that's what I need to do right now. It's just,
Yeah, sure.
why not? Like what is the whole adage about, like, if you have a home remodeler, probably their house is the most undone, like, they're always
Yes.
working in other people's houses. So, like, that's kind of in the world of where I live too. Like, our social media account is not where I would want it to be. Our clients, top, like, exactly where I want it to be. But our social media account is a little, it's a little lacking. So I had this idea over the holiday. I'm like, I'm going to do this series about big marketing flops, and I started putting it together, and just letting yourself be creative and letting yourself just spending some time getting away, thinking, and just being creative with your business can really be an energy giver as well. I had so much fun putting together this little silly video, and I really, really enjoyed it because it's not something that I normally do for our business and for
Right.
myself. Like it's something that I do for other people, and I'm like, you know what? This I could just take from start to finish and create something that I really want to do. So then now I'm thinking, now here we are a week out from Thanksgiving, and I'm thinking, what can I hand off so that I can do this more?
Yeah. Which is the cycle, right? Create work, hand it
Yes,
off, create
yes.
work. It's not like you create work,
Mhm.
hand it off, and sit back. So,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly. You keep dreaming up new ideas, and that's definitely what I would encourage people listening to this. Just keep thinking of new creative ideas. Get out there. Just
Yeah.
start.
All right. Well, that's a quick 26 minutes. So,
Nice.
um, first of all, thanks for joining us.
Of course. Of course.
And for
Thanks for having me.
anybody that wants to learn more about Kelly, there's over in the show notes, there's contact information, introduction links, a whole bunch of things for you. If you like what you're listening to as a subscriber or a listener, 3 ways you can help: leave a review, hit subscribe, or share an episode. And we'll be back next week. Until then, stay focused, keep working, stay profitable.